Okay, hi guys. Hope everyone's doing well. This is my first attempt at a lesson online, so hopefully it goes well. We will see how well it goes. So for this lesson, I'm actually going to reiterate a few things about the introduction paragraph for your argumentative essay. So you guys did actually start this, and some of you have turned it in, not all of you. Those of you who turned it in, I have actually looked at everyone's at least once and gave feedback on your introduction paragraph. Now, that being said, a lot of you did not actually, almost 90% of you didn't have a thesis statement at all. A few of you had a type of thesis statement, but it was, I would say, incomplete. So I think that's something we need to address. Also, many of you are missing the hook. The hook is where you draw your reader in. So some of you use the question, which is not my favorite. It's not very interesting. But there you can use quotes, you can use stories, you can use even personal stories if they relate to what you're talking about. That being said, I did actually in Google Classroom, I did put a link that you guys could check out different types of hooks. Now remember, the hook goes first. It's very important. All right. And that being said, after that, you explain what your topic is. So most of you either had environment or, gun control. And, oh man, I forgot the third one that I gave you guys an option of. Anyway, those would be your topics. So you want to give some background on the topic. The very last thing that you're going to do is put your thesis statement. What are you arguing? Again, not an informative essay. You will still be using facts, but not an informative essay. You're arguing a point. So, for example, if you are doing the environment, you may be arguing that the government needs to do more to improve our environment. They need to have more laws in place, particularly maybe for cars. Actually, I believe Trump just did away with some of those restrictions. If you're doing gun control, you would argue possibly the federal government needs to put in the same restrictions, say, that California has as a state, but they need to be federally across the board. Those are what you would be arguing. It has to be like a for or against proposition. It is not informative, and that's what you need to understand. And like I said, a few of you did have that, but not enough of you. I found a few clips that I thought would be interesting for you guys. Well, interesting in the sense it's good for your essay. So I'm going to attempt to share them now. I haven't actually done this. So give me a second.
We speak student.
Argument essay, a la Schmo. Is Beaver's hair more awesome than Cousin It's? Should weekends be extended to 4 days instead of the measly 2 weeks? currently have? Are dogs better than cats?
Maybe cats are better.
No matter how you answered any of these questions, you're already in the thick of an argument. And hopefully you didn't tick off any cats in the process. They're unforgiving creatures. In writing, arguing has nothing to do with the decibel level of your voice. You're wrong. An argument essay persuades your readers to make a change. This change could be a mental change, a different way of thinking, or an actual change in a policy or practice. It's wide open. Here's a classic example. I'm 16 years old and I just got my driver's license. Therefore, I'm clearly more than capable of driving your new Porsche Turbo. Try saying that to one of your parents and he or she will probably say, yeah, right. But give them evidence and support your claim. Show them how you can drive in reverse in a straight line for 100 feet and parallel park a Hummer into a parking spot meant for motorcycles, and you just might succeed in changing their mind. So when you're presenting an argument, your reader must see things from your point of view. You can't let them just brush it off because they don't agree with you right off the bat. It's on you to persuade them by providing support for your arguments and effectively shooting down any potential counter-argument. All through it, keep your tone civil and polite, or your reader will toss aside your paper. So how is this puppy organized? You've got your intro, a thesis that states your overall opinion. The body of the essay will have your supporting points, and finally your conclusion in which you wrap things up neatly. If that seems like a bit much, don't panic. Shmoop's writing guide has help and more info on these terms. The argument essay is the most important kind of academic paper because most essays have an element of argumentation, even if it isn't immediately obvious. After all, why are you writing anything at all if it isn't to convince someone of something? The personal statement that you will be writing to get into college, it's an argument that you're awesome. That long Facebook status you just posted about how Taken 2 is the best movie of all time? That's right. You're trying to persuade your reader that the oft-derided film is in fact misunderstood. If you're going to turn anyone to your side in this instance, though, let's hope you have a very particular set of skills. See what we mean? Now go on, argue. We can see you're chomping at the bit. Now.
Okay, so hopefully you're able to see that. I think I did it right. They actually have, well, I had 2 more video clips, so we're going to have to see how that goes. I'm going to be able to.
Hello again, students, and welcome back to Ms. Bullock's flipped classroom.
Whoa, hold on.
Today, we will be working on the structure of the 5-paragraph argumentative essay. And this is what your essay will end up looking like. So, let's talk about our I cans for today. The very first I can we have is you can learn the structure of the 5-paragraph essay in an argumentative style. Now, of course, under this squiggly line, we're talking about what will.
Okay, sorry about that. It just kept going. I didn't realize it was going to do that. So now I want to come over here, and I actually did purchase, you guys, a whiteboard so you guys can see. And this is actually my garage teaching space. Yes, you'll notice the laundry there. I meant to move that. But anyway, and as promised, I am in costume. I will be in costume for every one of these, or start off with a mask or a fun hat. So this is, hold on, let me show you. Alice in Wonderland. All right, just to make it a little more entertaining. So let's talk about the argument essay one more time. So when we guys did that sheet in class, I talked about author's purpose. So remember, author's purpose. We had, you could, to entertain, to inform, to express, and then we had to convince / persuade. This is what you're doing. You're doing the convince / persuade. So it's very important. I don't know if you guys can actually see that. but to convince / persuade. So each and every paragraph that you write needs to convince or persuade. And the introduction paragraph starts off with your thesis statement. What are you going to be persuading them about? And I keep stating this because I'm not getting those thesis statements that I want. Okay, that being said, some of you, I've actually already given you feedback. I'm hoping you'll fix it. So I want you to be able to go on to the next part of the essay. So this is where you have your supporting reasons. Now, you guys may recall we were actually reading this essay on John Boyne's The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. And in the beginning, so basically you had 3 reasons. We did an analyzation of the essay. So our thesis statement for the first actual, the thesis statement for our introduction paragraph was fiction, including stories, novels, and films, is a great way to teach people about history. And John Boyne's The Boy in the Striped Pajamas is an excellent example. So that was our thesis statement. Now, our first body paragraph, not our introduction paragraph, first body paragraph, reviewers and readers alike praised the book. That was his first supporting reason for his thesis statement. Number 2, second supporting reason for his thesis statement. Critics of the novel and movie argue that both are historically inaccurate. Okay? Now, he actually did this more as a counterclaim type situation. Now, the third one, our third supporting reason for our thesis statement. So remember, this is an essay of 5 paragraphs, okay? And we have, oh, no, where'd it go? Sorry. Our third one, hold on. Where did my third one go? Critics, oops. Okay, so our last one was, as Jan Brown notes in her article on writing historical fiction for young adults, any writer who tells a story set in the past must negotiate the fine line between history and fiction, between readers' contemporary sensibilities and historical accuracy. Okay, so that's going to be supporting reason number 3 / your topic sentence as well. So I do want those of you who have already looked at your introduction paragraph to go ahead and get started on those supporting reasons for your argument. The rest of you still need to do it. You still have to do it for class credit. So those of you who have not done it yet, it is now late. So that does affect your grade because you haven't done it yet. All right, so I want to actually, if I can, because I don't know where it went, I'd like to share another video clip with you. Let's see if I can get to it. Okay, that is the password though. Okay, so for some reason it's not letting me sign in, which I don't understand why. I just did it. But again, this is my first lesson like this. But there basically are 2 other videos. I want you guys to look at them. They're in Google Classroom. I just showed you the first one. The first one was just explaining the argumentative essay as it is. The other one talks about how to write a killer thesis statement. They're all by Schmoop. I put a link under stream. And also there's another one that tells you the difference between a topic sentence and a thesis sentence, which a thesis sentence is your thesis statement. So here is my expectation for this week. Those of you who have not done the introduction paragraph for your argumentative essay, you need to get that done by actually as soon as possible, because it was already due. Secondly, those of you who have already given feedback, please edit and use the feedback I've given you, and do not just use what I typed. You can't do it, won't work. You have to retype what I typed. So if I gave you a new thesis statement, you need to rewrite the new thesis statement. If you don't have a hook, you need to go back and add a hook. Now that being said, after you have edited your introduction paragraph, I want you guys to go on and start your first body paragraph. You're going to turn in your first body paragraph so I can edit your structure. After that, you're going to just continue on with your body paragraphs. But I would like body paragraph number 1 by Thursday. Body paragraph number 1 by Thursday. Okay, so that's your first supporting reason. It's going to have a source. It's going to either use pathos, logos, or ethos, which is, remind you, I also put those in Classroom, reminding you what they are. Pathos is actually going to be the appeal to emotion. So this could be a story that appeals to someone, like makes someone sad, makes someone angry, just makes someone feel thoughtful and want to think about something. Logos, remember, this is the numbers and statistics. So I believe one of the things is about, whose is it? Someone's essay is about banning cars from the freeway. So statistically, how many accidents are on an LA freeway every year? That's a statistic you could use. Also, make sure you note the source. The source is where you got the information. Third thing, you need to explain it. So your body paragraph needs to have a supporting reason for your thesis statement. 2, it needs to have a type of evidence, whether that be pathos, logos, or ethos. Go back and explain ethos one more time. I realized I forgot it. Then you need to explain why this source that you've used, why you're using it. How does it support your thesis statement? Okay, so ethos, again, was someone who is knowledgeable on the subject. So to give you an example, you may have seen them, our president's been doing these talks on TV and the news, and going on and telling us about the COVID-19 and the next steps or what's happening right now. And he's had Dr. Fauci with him. So him being a doctor, that is considered a reliable source for ethos. All right. So that would be an example that might pertain to what's going on right now. Anyway, so, and there's another assignment actually in Google Classroom. It's just practicing subject-verb agreement. I did use a new tab I never used before. It was the per each student. So your job on that is to figure out what the subject of the sentence is and the verb. And I gave you an example. I want you to write S equals whatever the subject is, verb what equals whatever the subject was. And I'd also like that due by Thursday. So my main goal, just to give you an idea for this, I really want you guys to be able to produce a very well-written argumentative essay. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, it's very possible you'll be able to use the essay again at some point in your life. I did use actually an essay more than once in my life. If you have me next year, probably not. But it doesn't mean you won't be able to use a senior year, doing maybe some editing. So I want you guys to take this extra time we have and make an excellent essay, okay? I do hope to have you guys write a story or a script for me as well. Those are my 2 main goals before we get to June 12th. And the last thing, every week I'm going to give you some grammar practice. So these are my goals for you. I want you to really work on your writing. Again, I'm still figuring out about the book. I do want us to finish the book. So I think what I'm going to start doing is putting links to the chapters and you can listen to them. Or if you have the book, you can read it yourself, which my 5th period does. And I think I'm just going to do a final test on it. I think that's the easiest thing to do. So it'll be on you to complete the book. And like I said, I'll put links and then I'll do the final test sometime. So it's April. I'll do the final test maybe the 3rd week of May for you guys. All right. So this is my first lesson. Hopefully, I don't know if it's thorough enough. If you guys give me some feedback, that would be great. And Tuesday, just to let you know, Tuesdays for my sophomores, we have our meeting from 2 to 3. If you guys want to ask me any questions about your work, any questions about comments I've given you, that would be the time to do it. So Tuesday, tomorrow, from 2 to 3. My seniors, you're actually doing the same thing as far as an essay for me. So, so I'm going to actually send this to you as well. And plus you'll be doing the same grammar practice. Your meetings are, oh, wait a minute, I wrote it down. Thursday, write it down. Thursdays from 12 to 1 for my seniors. Thursdays 12 to 1 for my seniors. And this will be every week until school gets out June 12th. And then the last thing, seniors, I think the other thing I'm going to have you do, I'm just going to have you do the same thing as my 10th graders. I'm going to have you write me a narrative or a script. Okay? I think that's the best thing to do with our time these days. So again, please tell me if you have any suggestions, and missing your faces in class. It's actually much better than doing it like this. So, oh, and the camera's in a place so you can see my costume better. See, there we go. Alice in Wonderland. So I got the little skirt, black shoes. All right, and costume. Tune in to see what next costume I wear. I added the ears since yesterday was Easter. All right.